Hello and welcome to my Elite Dangerous, the day-to-day grind, preparing for fleet carriers, cargo missions, Sothis and Ceos. Well, there's been a lot of news in the ED Elite Dangerous world in the last week, a little over a week. Back on March the 26th, Frontier announced that they were on course and on target for releasing fleet carriers by June. And then yesterday, April the 2nd, they put out a video that went over some items about fleet carriers. And I'm using a VR headset, so I'm going to have to peek under the headset for my notes. But as we heard last week, the fleet carrier would be $5 billion in credits. It will be sold to individuals that have $5 billion, of course. Has a 500 light year jump range. Now the drawback is there's an hour build up. There's an hour cooldown. So if you're going, and I have to correct myself from the last video. Like if you make two jumps, between the two jumps there has to be 2 hours, so an hour cooldown and an hour build up before it can take off again, and then another hour on the end to cool down. So that's sort of a negative, being an hour. It probably should be, like if you were trying to make 44 jumps, and there's other reason that would be a problem. That would take a while, take a long while. And your fuel tank can only hold enough fuel for 2 jumps. Now you have 25,000 units. Now my Python here has storage for 280 units. It has 25,000, but your ships on board take up units of space. And your outfit, if you have services like outfitting and shipyard and fuel and repair, those take up space too. So you could, and what I like about fleet carriers, you can transfer cargo from your ship to the fleet carrier and from the fleet carrier back to your ship. So I like that part quite a bit. The upkeep will be between, well, the minimum is 10 million a week. So no matter what, it's going to cost you 10 million per week just for it to be setting. That's without any services at all. And then the services like your bridge crew, and then like the shipyard has a crew, the repair has a crew, the fuel has a crew, everything has a crew, and so that's going to be on top of it. So they're expecting it to be about 15 million per week if you have all your services turned on. So I mean, that can be a drawback, because we would have to run lots of missions just to be able to support our fleet carrier for a period of time. And the fuel issue is major, because yes, you could take up the rest of your space with tritium, and of course you have the fuel tank of tritium that only holds 1,000 units or 1,000 tons, and that will only get you through 2 jumps. So there's some negatives there. And for our explorer friends, which I have to put myself in that category too, universal cartographics is not available on your fleet carrier. And that's a major drawback, because as you're making jumps to different planets or different systems, scanning planets, you can make money normally. Like you have to come back to the bubble or go back to a station and sell that information. Well, that's not going to be available on fleet carriers. So that's a big drawback so far. So hopefully Frontier fixes some of that. there'll be 12, 13 places around the bubble that you can buy these fleet carriers. And it's based on superpower. So the Federation will be selling some, the Empire will be selling some, and Alliance will be selling some. So there is 16 bays. There's 8 small, 4 medium, and 4 large. And at the moment, I don't know if you can shrink that or reorder that. I just need 1 large, 1 medium, 1 small, because then you can load as many ships that you have that stays under that 25,000 tons. There is a tritium depot, and that's where you can load from your ship. You can load tritium into your fleet carrier and vice versa. There's secure trading for those that like to market an illegal cargo, which what they said is security forces cannot scan your fleet carrier. So your fleet carrier will not be fined for carrying illegal cargo. Now your ships, if they pick up that illegal cargo and transport it somewhere, a security force can stop or fine that ship. Of course, you have the shipyard stock. So you have ships that you can either sell or are your own ships. There's outfitting stock, so you can carry outfitting items for yourself or for your friends or for others. And docking access, I think it can be set up for all, because I did see one thing during the video that for all to be able to use are your squadron only, your friends only, your squadron and your friends are none, which means just you. Now for me, I'm a solo player, and I like the none part myself, but your fleet carrier is over all modes. So you could be in solo, you could have friends in the friends part, and you could have others in open that are all accessing your fleet carrier at the same time. Your fleet carrier is online 24/7. So even when you leave the game or go on vacation, it's still burning resources. There is the livery for decals and for paint jobs and all of that for your fleet carriers also. And you can set the activity, and I think this is when you buy it. They made it sound like it's when you buy it. You can't just change it on the fly. But you have the default fleet carrier, the explorer fleet carrier, the mining, and the trading fleet carrier. Now, if you decide this is just too expensive after you buy one, and you want to sell it, or well, they call it decommissioning. It takes about a week to decommission, so you have to set it for decommission. You can't use it during that week, but of course you still got to pay for it that week, and at the end of the week then it disappears. You will be refunded 4 of your 5 billion, so you're going to lose $1 billion if you decommission it. There is discounts. There's a founder's discount, and I have some founder access because I have at least one elite status, so we'll have to find out what that means for a discount. I don't know. I have 2 elite statuses, and I get 10% discount at the Founders system. So maybe, you know, I can get 500 million off of the 5 billion. Oh, it will not travel through permit systems like to Sol and to some of the others. It will not go. You cannot land within a permit system, and you can have it fly to an individual planet, and then it will go into a orbit around that planet, but you can't set it for a station. Like you want it outside of a station, you can't do that. It'll be, now if that station is orbiting that planet, you'll be orbiting that planet too. So, and there is a limit of how many fleet carriers they allow to orbit a planet, so it might turn you down. You might have to orbit the planet next door or something. And then the information will come out in the player's handbook, so you'll be able to find all that information there. If you own a fleet carrier, Sysrite, you see the Codex Squadron Engineers. It'll be in between those 3, or between the Codex and the Squadron. You'll have an FC Management, where you can manage your fleet carrier remotely. You could be somewhere and your fleet carrier could be somewhere else, and you can send your fleet carrier to a place as long as you have the fuel in the fuel tank, and you can manage it. So you should be able to transfer fuel from your cargo tritium into your fuel tank tritium remotely, or when you're docked, of course, at the see how we can go to Starport Services. You'll have something like this. It's a little bit different, but you'll have your services when you dock to the carrier. So that's most of what I know so far, and I'll keep trying to find out more, especially about that universal cartographics, because that really has got a lot of commanders up in arms. So we'll see how it goes. Now I'm going to do it. I'm going to sacrifice possibly 1 billion of my credits and the up to 15 million per week, so I can bring it to you. April 7th, they're going to have a beta for PCs, and they say you can only be a beta if you currently have the 5 billion credits. If you do not currently have the 5 billion, you can join with a friend, and they can allow you on their fleet carrier, but you cannot beta test and be an owner of a fleet carrier without having 5 billion in your balance. Now I don't know if they're going to take 5 billion out of my balance when I fleet test, and so we will see. And of course, none of us know very much about the fleet carrier. We have seen it in the video. You can go to Elite Dangerous YouTube channel and you can watch the video, and I would suggest that if you're interested in the fleet carriers. I'll bring you as much information as I can come across. So, and on the mining for tritium, it'll be icy asteroids, or ice asteroids, and you can surface mine them, or you can deep core. Probably deep core produces more, but you'll have opportunities to do both. Now at some point we will, now I'm low risk, so I'd want to go to an unpopulated system and mine. I'd probably start out with the surface mining because that's usually what I've done in the past. I haven't done a lot of deep core mining, but I'll have to probably do that. And have the fleet carrier next door or close where I can take it from, like if I fill up my cutter or if I fill up the Python, I can run it over to the fleet carrier and offload it and then come back. And I do like the refuel and the repair capability of the fleet carrier. Okay, so we need to go over 7.75. I bring you a video every time we should cross into the next 50 million. So we're going to need about roughly 11 million. And that should be pretty easily done because we normally do way over 11. So let's get started. Sys left. We need to go to Sothis mining where we pick up our cargo. I need to check. I might have a mission here that I can deliver to Sothis mining. I did check and they don't have any new ones, but I think I might have an existing one. And maybe one at Babbage also. But let's check and make sure we don't have one that we can take. See, that's this station. This station. Delivery at this station. That's COs. Yeah, we don't have one at this station, so okay. Hit the wrong key. Be sure to press that subscribe button in the lower right hand corner. Doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps me out with YouTube, and it lets you know when I produce these videos and when I bring you more information about the fleet carriers. So please press that subscribe button. Really help me. And I'm willing to sacrifice some of my credits if you're willing to support me just through a subscribing. So it doesn't cost you anything, but it shows YouTube that I'm a viable YouTuber. So help me out there. I don't have nearly enough subscribers yet. Underneath the video, in the description, the bottom of that description, you'll see ways to donate. Please consider donations. I could really use them because the high cost of creating over 490 videos. And underneath the video to the left, you'll find my YouTube channel, GFM_RDG, where you'll find those over 490 additional videos.
Frameshift drive charging.
So join me on this journey of the good and the bad and the ugly, because there's a lot of all of it. There's a lot of drama. You can see that in my YouTube channel of all the videos that I have. So we have to get out and collect some of, especially the missions that are expiring, because you only have 24 hours to run a mission. And I got a few that are around 3 hours, so I need to get those especially delivered so I'm not fined. Sys left. But we need credits. This thing is going to be a credit hog. It is. It's a bottomless pit of taking your credits. Now, if you have the credits, you can make the credit, because here between Sothis and COs, as long as it doesn't dry up, because I show so many people how to run missions here between Sothis and COs, there could be a time that it dries up. or it's very limited, or it's not the over 12 million that we're currently seeing. So just be prepared for that, but I'm going to show my viewers everything I find. If you follow my YouTube channel, you subscribe to my channel, you're going to get access to all the information that I can find out. So I'm not saying I'm the greatest player, have the most inside information. I have over 2,000 hours in this game. That's what you get to take advantage of, because I come across about everything with over 2,000 hours. Just like those Guardian skimmers, not the Guardian Sentinels, but there's a Guardian skimmer that's rare. And the reason I come across it is because I have over 2,000 hours. Of course I'm going to come across that stuff eventually, because most of it's random, and I increase my odds of coming across that stuff very highly. And I'm videotaping everything now. And that's why I need donations, because the storage for this stuff is enormous too. So I need your help, because equipment costs and software costs and breakdowns and things like that, it takes a lot of resources dollar wise, just like this game takes a lot of resources credit wise. Yeah, it's on the other side. That's what I was afraid of. The dotted line means it's on the other side. So we'll flip around. I don't like getting too close to the planet, so I like to kind of go past it and come back at it. And I'm told that's why my throttle sticks at times. That's still really, to me, not acceptable. It should not stick. But I like having everything in front of me, so I kind of go to the side of my destination and turn into it. And I've had a few to tell me that's why my throttle sticks. I still don't think that's a good excuse at all. It shouldn't stick, even if I'm circling around to avoid interdictions. This left, and I have NPCs, because I play solo, NPCs trying to beat me to the request to dock at the station.
Docking request granted.
So it's still an obstacle course, and it's intended to be an obstacle course, and it's intended to frustrate us. So I just don't know if that's a good policy, but, you know, they don't listen to me. Every time I've complained about something to them, they have said it's working as intended. So it could be the greatest game ever if they would listen to their players and their commanders. But to me, it's okay. That's about the best I can do for it right now, because there's so many broken things. To me, it's broken. And just like the fleet carriers, just like the fleet carriers not being able to have a universal cartographics, that's broken. It is broken. To many, all you got to do is watch the forum, like the Frontiers Elite Dangerous forum discussion. Yeah, all you got to do is watch that. Probably more than half to them it's broken. So they should listen to their commanders. Sys left, and the fuel tank size, it will be a problem. Help 117, 180 gold to Brunel. So we'll be going to Brunel. because I like picking the oldest first. Sis left. And you see there's only 3 hours left in that. This one's Brunel also. Delivery 88 units of gold, so that's good. So we take care of both of those oldest ones. Sis left. And that's New Dawn at 8 hours, so that's much better. Babbage. Brunel, deliver 3 units of gold. And those small ones will help us, because we need 11 million. Sis left. Okay, we have to find a Brunel. Sis left. What I want to see so far is how much we have. See, that's 8.2. 8.8. There's our 11.8 right there. Like 12.2, 13.2. So we've got it already to cross that 7.75. So we need to find a new Brunel. Here's a Brunel. Another 1.2. We need that.
Incoming mission critical message.
And that's broken, because see, it knocked me out of looking at that mission. So to me, that's broken. Sis right. And we can take 124. So we can take one of those 120s if we come across one to Brunel. That's what we're looking for now, is to fill up going to Brunel. So that 180 doesn't help us. And the 132 doesn't help us, because that would be a partial. I'm not even looking at the ones yet for over 124. There's a Brunel. Sis right. We need 68 or less. Okay, now we'll look at the ones that are over. See, now we'll take a 120 if we can find one to Brunel. There's a Brunel. And that one will pay 4.6 when we deliver the whole thing. We can only do a partial. Okay, but that
Cargo
fills
hold
up this
at
load
maximum capacity.
going to Brunel. So we're way over the 11 million that we need. Now we're going to look at palladium. Anything palladium. And then gold after that. Palladium pays the most per unit. And then gold pays the next highest per unit. And then the others fall in after that. See, this one's a 10.5 for 180 units. We don't have room for that right now, but we do accept it. So we're stacking missions, as they say. We need palladium. Because it's all about the credits. Yes, I do not like interdictions, but it's all about the credits right now. We need credits so we can support our fleet carrier. So now gold is what we're looking for now. And the few negative clicks that I get, thumbs down, is probably because of me stacking missions and not liking interdictions and not being a frontier apologist. Because I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm not going to apologize for frontier all the time and try to make excuses for why things are broken. Why that should be acceptable, I don't. So sis left. So we have 19, so it's not bad. It slows down at times, what I see, but you run a few missions and it seems to come back. So that part's good. So we gotta get these delivered to Brunel. It's another bad allergy day. Till the allergies this year are just so much worse than normal. I don't know if COVID has something to do with hyping allergy season. Crazy. Everybody I know that has allergies, they're just being torn up by them. And I am very blessed that my family, or no one I personally know, has COVID. And I know some of you do know people that have come down with it. And our thoughts and prayers are with everyone in the nation that are in the world that has have to go through this virus. Is this up? Because it's a terrible thing. No matter where you're at. Now, I do not believe China's numbers. I think their numbers are far greater than they're trying to lead on. But that's with any dictatorial country, that's kind of what they
Landing
do.
gear retracted. Ship released. Engines engaged. Frameshift drive charging.
Be sure to press that subscribe button in the lower right hand corner, because that'll help me with YouTube. Doesn't cost you anything, and you'll be notified when I produce more fleet carrier related
4,
videos.
3, 2, 1, engage.
And this is very fleet carrier related because we need as many credits as we can get. That's why we're preparing for fleet carriers. I'm spending a little bit of effort trying to slow down. Just trying to stay outside of my reach. And then a chained one. And we can have up to 7, because I have videos out there of 7 interdictions, and one pretty recent within the last 3 or 4 days. So we just have to get through them. You need a comfortable ship. I would suggest having modded modules through the engineers, which I have videos on how to do that. Very detail oriented, more of a video reference. And my videos usually are more than just an overview. They're very detail oriented. Boy, they're really running this morning. More than normal. You just gotta stay with them until they calm down. And we have another, so there's gonna be at least 4. You do use my thrusters for right and left during an interdiction. Main thing is just try to get closer. And then slow down when they're in this much of a frenzy. We've had 4 interdictions so far, if my count is correct. If you go too fast, they'll try to run you into the planet. And then you got to start the interdiction or the super cruise all over, because they normally won't follow you to the planet if they run you into it. But it hurts your integrity. Now I have very good shields because they're modded also by the engineers. And again, check those videos, and I have videos on Dav's Hope and Jameson Crash Site, places where you can gather materials for the engineers and for synthesis. I have a video on synthesis that's pretty wild and crazy. Not real crazy, but you can reload and repair your ship. You can't refuel it with synthesis, but you can repair, reload, and refuel your SRVs on the planet.
To Lacey, Romeo Golf, India. The Federation welcomes you.
Incoming
Follow
mission
station
critical
protocols and
message.
enjoy your visit, Commander.
Sis left.
Vectoring for approach to landing pad 2-3. Docking assist
And your
enabled. Approach is clear.
Your fleet carrier is indestructible. It cannot be destroyed by Thargoid, by pirates, or by anybody. It cannot. You cannot apply damage to the fleet carrier. And that part's pretty good. That I like. Being an explorer and not a combat guy, I like that. They can't take advantage of your fleet carrier. Now, just like these stations, if you get attacked, the station can shoot at you. Like these little things here on the side of the opening, those are guns. And inside, there's guns. check out my Anaconda Destroyed.
Landing gear deployed.
Put that in my YouTube channel in the search. You'll see the inside the station. They destroy an Anaconda right in front of me when we were in queue to leave the station. So check that one out.
Landing engines disengaged.
Yeah, I take allergy medicine every day, and boy, in the past couple of weeks it has not helped.
Incoming message.
See, we're already over the 7.75. Is this right? Okay, we still have 2 more missions. About 15 million is what we made on this trip. Is this right? Yep. So let's just look and see if I have a partial going back here, back to Sothis. Okay, we'll look for one though. Oh, that's internal. To COs. We're looking for the Sothis ones. Don's Inheritance. Don's Inheritance. We don't want the 5452s. Units, those are too big. The New Dawn. Look for Sothis. Okay. Is this left? We gotta get back to Sothis mining. That's usually where we end our video until we get up to 7.8 billion. But it's all about the credits right now. Credits are king right now. I have some 8 hours and then the rest are 12-hour ones. So we're in pretty good shape. And you can turn in your bounty claims into your fleet carrier. That too. Is this up? Okay, make sure you press that subscribe button at the lower right hand corner. It helps me out greatly. It doesn't cost you anything. It allows you to stay up to date with the fleet carrier related videos that I'm doing. And this video is very related because of the needing credits for the fleet carriers. And underneath the video, in the bottom of the description, you'll find ways to donate. Please consider donations to our cause. And underneath the video to the left, you'll see my YouTube channel, GFM_RDG, where you will find over 490 more videos.
Ship detach complete. You are clear for egress.
Like the Thargoid surface site, we went there to collect some meta-alloys for Felicity Farseer, the engineer that does FSD, and that's a creepy place. Those mechanical scavengers that they have, and we collected quite a few meta-alloys. That part was good.
Frameshift drive charging.
And the Guardian surface site, where we had to fight off Guardian Guardian Sentinels, but we collected a blueprint for the
4,
Guardian
3,
FSD
2,
drive.
1, engage.
So when I'm exploring, I have over 45 light years completely outfitted for exploring. So that's pretty nice for a Python. And there's the material traders. So you can move things around if you pin your engineered blueprints. If you pin those, you can go to the material trader, move things around, and update your modules remotely. So that's pretty cool. Is this left? And I'm told this is why my throttle sticks, because I come to the side of my target and I turn into it. Well, that still doesn't, that's not a good enough excuse for me. It's still broken. I do that because when I turn into it, everything is then in front of me, or becomes in front of me, the more I turn, so I can see if they get behind me. And it's probably Frontier's way of saying, no, you're not supposed to be able to see who's behind you. Yeah. And that defeats the obstacle course mentality of the game. See how I put everything in front of me or beside of me. And that's intentional. And that's what they say causes that the throttle to stick. Even when I throttle down to 0, it'll still go to 100%. That's still unacceptable to me. That's why it's a good game for me. It's not a great game. If they'll fix all of these issues that I see, then to me it could be a great game. It could be the greatest game. But until they fix those things, it's not the greatest game. And it's just like the fleet carrier. To many people, it'll come out broken. Like not being able to handle universal cartographics for explorers. To me, that's broken. It only has a 2-jump fuel tank. That's broken. Right out of the gate, it's broken. They need to improve that. That's not good enough. I would say it needs at least a 10 maximum light year or maximum jump ability. And it's fuel. Is this left?
Docking request denied. Docking request denied.
See, it's that obstacle course mentality. So what I do is I go hover over the landing pad. If I get there in time. I don't speed, but I'll go get over that landing pad and make it difficult for the NPCs that do this on purpose. Sis left.
Docking request denied. Docking request granted.
And they have plenty of room to put another medium landing pad there. But that's part of the obstacle course. Part of frustrating
Landing gear deployed.
the player. Because it's as intended, they say.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Well, with me, you're going to know exactly how I feel about things. I'm completely transparent. Is this right? I do thank you greatly for coming along. I hope you will watch more of my videos and see what the latest news is on the fleet carrier. If you would like for me to bring that to you, I'm going to bring it to you, but you can watch to see it. And there'll be another video when we get closer to crossing the 7.8 billion mark. So until then, thank you for watching.